Oh my god. It's working.
We're live!
Oh my goodness.
He's here.
Hello everyone.
I'm here. Hi guys.
Here? Oh my god, there are people in there. Hello.
we've actually got people.
Wow.
Here. Thank you for coming. Anyway, hi guys. I'm Mike.
I'm John, or aka the Meerkat.
Sir Meerkat. We're here in Meerkat Royalty. Make sure you subscribe in terms of that. But we are here for your race live reaction and Mercedes. Wait, what did I just watch?
I mean, Mercedes didn't get it for the first time.
They're not invincible. Max Verstappen has won the Grand Prix. Incredible. I can't believe it. We're literally... this hopefully is going to be a very fun live stream there. As usual, I'll be off tweeting in a second. We'll do our usual run through of 20 to 1 on the grid where they finished. And then me and John are literally just going to do our usual talking, chaotic, talk to you guys in the chat, because what a race actually there. And thank you, John, for the light today. We can actually see both of us very clearly.
Although the annoying thing is, look at that, my glasses. Always happens.
Double eyes for John.
He looks beautiful at the moment. I just look like a bit of an idiot.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks for doing it for me. I appreciate that.
No problem, mate.
But yes, right. Give me 2 secs to tweet out. Meerkat, I'll leave you to stall in terms of talking to the people.
How's it going, guys?
See if there's anything in chat.
What are we saying? It's already jumped up to 8 viewers. This is incredible scenes.
We're flying.
How's everyone doing? Oh, someone, JBO2 has said, hey, Mike.
Hi, JB. Thanks for coming. Say hi to John as well. Don't
Hello.
Hi,
JB.
Hi. We are now... Join me.
The social media mogul over here has to get them out. I keep looking. See, when I'm streaming, I can't have the picture of me up on the screen, or I just continuously look at the picture of me.
That's all right. You just got to stare into the camera, stare to the people.
Damn.
Guys, what a race we've had.
That race was amazing. Sorry, yeah, I know Mike has been saying before to me on the sofa that Verstappen has got the driver of the day, which I know he has got it, and in Mike's eyes he has got it, but also Charles Leclerc, I tweeted out on my Twitter, Charles Leclerc, what a race from him, from P8 to P3, sorry, to P4, not quite P3, because I had a bet on him to come P3, or on the podium at least, and he didn't quite get it.
That is disappointing.
20 quid I would have got. Oh, boys, I'm absolutely devastated from that.
It was close, I'll give you that.
He was looking close at one point, but then Hamilton obviously pitted, got the new tyres on, and then was just chasing him down. And there was like, he was like right on behind him, and there was 7 laps left. And I was like, come on, Leclerc, only 7 laps now to hold on. But anyway, what's going to happen? It was like 2 corners later, and he got him. So
and then Hamilton got Bottas as well. And
yeah,
Bottas looks the angriest man out there. Has to be said. He is definitely teed off by the strategy. Right, tweet is live. Everyone's
wow.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Mr. Storm.
Oh, I got hi, MotoMeerkat.
Oh, go from there.
David Xavier. Hello, David.
Well done from there. Right, anyway, I need the phone back again from doing that. Race, this is always a chaotic stream from there. Right, race. Before me and kind of Meerkat jump into things, last place, our only retiree was Kevin Magnussen, and involved in a bit of controversy in the race, was very rogue, went wide at Stowe, and then I literally had to wince as he came back on track. I thought him and Latifi were going to go bye-bye with that. It was crazy. But I think he received damage, and which eventually retired him from the race. Not a great race for Kevin Magnussen today, but only retiree. 19th, Nicholas Latifi, and 18th, George Russell. Their race pace for the Williams still isn't there. Giovinazzi, P17. Roman Grosjean P16, Raikkonen P15, doing well to beat Giovinazzi.
Yeah, Giovinazzi was doing well at the start, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what happened. How has he fallen down so far?
I don't know how Raikkonen has finished ahead of all of those guys, actually, as he was last for most of the race. So, incredible from that in there. But Daniel Ricciardo had a spin during the race.
Oh, my goodness. That was gut-wrenching.
Yeah, he was trying to defend from Carlos Sainz, wasn't
he?
And then just kind of spun wide. But Sainz only finishing 13th. Vettel P12, basically finishing 1 place down from where he started. Not great.
Yeah.
Gasly had tyre issues massively throughout the race, didn't he?
We haven't talked about Vettel, the start.
Oh, we will get onto that.
Okay,
we will get onto that.
Okay.
We'll get onto that. Kvyat P10 rounding off the points. Good race for Kvyat actually, and AS19's driver of the day.
Yeah, I had a little tweet out saying that I thought Leclerc was driver of the day. He just replied Kvyat. That was it. Just Kvyat driver of the day. Where did he start?
In fairness, he did start like P16.
Okay, fair play.
So
he's
done well to get in the points. Norris P9, Ocon P8. First race, I think that they've both finished that he's beaten Ricciardo. So a good performance from Esteban Ocon today.
But also then of course, Ricardo did have that spin, which you got to say, obviously, is down to him. So
Yeah.
Ocon's picked up the pieces there, but equally, Ricardo should have finished.
But Ocon started behind Norris.
That is
so
true.
he's got ahead
He
there.
had a very good race. He had a very good race. He's impressing me so far this season, I'd say. People were a little bit sceptical, especially with
He's getting
the year
better
out.
race on race. I think Hungary was a better, last week was better, and then this week's been his best race again, which is positive signs for that. Nico Hulkenberg had to finish the race on the soft compound as the kind of hard compounds went. They took a gamble to see if they could catch, but obviously it didn't pay off for Nico. So started P3, ended P7, but not a bad return.
Not bad. I mean, for his first race in a year and a bit.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So fair enough, you've got to say. Still got good points for the team. As a stand-in, that's all he really needs to do, isn't it?
Absolutely. Lance Stroll, P6, had a very good start, but then just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
It was
can't really have much more than that. Yeah, it's just a bit there, wasn't it, from him?
It was. Alex Albon, great race actually. Albon's best race of the season, I would say.
Putting in some really good passes. Really good passes. He loves that round the outside. I'm not as good as him at calling names, but that corner.
Cops. He was round Cops.
Round the outside.
He was round Cops, and he was unbelievable round Cops for it today. But Leclerc P4, incredible race actually to get that Ferrari P4.
You could tell on the radio afterwards he was very happy with that. I mean, you've got, on one hand, you've got to say the team and him were so happy with that. And you've got to say, in the position that they're in at the moment, that's great for them to be happy about that. But then you're thinking, Ferrari are jumping for joy over a fourth place. Over a fourth place.
It's sad. It's sad. He was literally celebrating that like a win.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Literally.
And then here's the exciting bit to round off the race result. Bottas, P3. Hamilton, P2. Max Verstappen winning the first Grand Prix, stopping a 100% record. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I guess, obviously, we're looking there. Craig Taggart, hello, didn't manage to watch the race. Was it a good one? Yes. Yes, it was a good one because you had a fight for the lead. There's tyre strategy between Max Verstappen and Mercedes. Had you gripped all race?
It was quite a strategic race rather than sort of people going hammer and tong like every lap continuously. It was more sort of, well, if he does this, what's going to happen there between his positions and blah, blah, blah. And that was mainly because of the soft tyres that they brought in for this weekend, obviously, the softer tyres than last weekend.
How is that? I've seen JB's already bringing it up. Albon does good. Mike, wait, that's illegal. What is Albon doing? Doing well. He's not good enough. No. Credit to Albon where credit's due. I mean, the car still has won the race. So but from where he started, it was a good race from there. Mike,
do you think that Gasly would have got on the podium in that race if he was in that Red Bull?
Don't know. Don't honestly know.
I think it would have done worse. Just putting that out there, boys.
I mean, his tyres didn't do great. So potentially, he had all the early pace.
He's just so much better on that AlphaTauri, honestly. I think he just feels so much more at home in that car.
He does. But
will Red Bull ever find a good enough replacement for that second seat?
Will Red Bull ever fight for constructors again, or are they just considered a building one car just to get Max Verstappen a drivers' championship? Yeah, that's probably the question, and go from there. Why does Stephen look so different? I know. Look, he's even dyed his hair and got glasses. He's gone blind and dyed his hair. It's crazy, and he's got like a retro Williams top. How incredible! Instead of a Max top when he's winning. No, watch out for tomorrow. Stephen will definitely be wearing a Verstappen top in driver ratings. And, well, you're going to be making an appearance in that as well.
I know, incredible. But I'm actually going to be jumping on the F1 Fanatic YouTube channel. Not the first time. I was on before, but that was over the modem of the internet. This time, we're really in person. We're really here. Sorry, mate. Social distancing of that. I'll just sit here for the rest of the bit. Hang on.
Don't touch me! Great to know. Mike, did you have K-Mag in your fantasy team? Yes. So thank you. Brilliant. Thanks for bringing that up, David. In fantasy terms again.
He was literally saying it on the sofa, saying, oh my God, I have Max in my team.
Oh, K-Mag. You're letting me down, mate. You're letting me down. Hulkenberg signs with Red Bull 2021. Pedro Augusto Fellini. I don't think so.
No.
So, I think, you know, if Albon keeps putting in performances like that, he definitely merits time in that seat. That was better from Albon. He needs to sort the qualifying because he clearly is better within the race than he is qualifying. So we need to start higher up where he actually is in terms of that, especially as Max is a good qualifier, but I wouldn't say he's an outstanding one. Probably the third best race, I'd say. Styria next and Austria, obviously the best. Yeah, probably. I'd agree with that because there wasn't really much on-track action. What Silverstone actually had last week was there was quite a bit of midfield on-track action, but yeah, it was the overtakes were mainly due to my tyres are gone, essentially.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it wasn't great on that front.
And even when the midfield battles are so good, obviously we enjoy them, but we still have that want of like, why couldn't this be the battle for the lead? Which, I mean, we had this weekend, which was great, even though the midfield was a little bit worse this weekend, and it was more just sort of people following in trains a bit. The front battle was good, and that made it really interesting.
So, well, where should we probably... Max Verstappen, well, let's start with Max, the race winner. Incredible race by him in terms of... Red Bull went for the risky strategy, starting on the hards. They went different to Mercedes, which they had to, but their tyre wear and Max's tyre conservation was incredible in the race.
It was amazing. It was on the first stint when he came over the radio, and the race engineer was just like, "All right, just chill, Max. Like, we need to hold these tyres out. Stick behind. We're overheating the tyres too much." And he was just like, "No, I'm not being a granny driver. I'm going to go for this." So he's got to say fair play to him.
I can see Mercedes. Yeah. I will beat a Mercedes, and fair play to Verstappen. He did. And just Red Bull to beat Mercedes have to nail everything and have a little bit of luck their way. And the luck their way was that Mercedes tyres just were blistering throughout the whole race, but they nailed it and took advantage of it, and just incredible for them on that front. But going to Mercedes, what a shock in terms of we know. It was last year in Austria, wasn't it, in high temperatures that they had cooling issues on their engine last year, which affected performance. I think Bottas got P3 and Hamilton got P5. But yeah, this was like massively blistering tyres. Hamilton went deep, and that's another thing. Bottas looked the angriest man out there. Jeez. Yeah. Like Mercedes really did screw him over today, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. He looked pretty angry when Hamilton was coming up behind him, and then he did try to put in. Obviously, they said over the radio that they could fight, that they were allowed to fight, which is good. We were a little bit worried that they might say Valtteri, it's James or whatever, but allowed them to fight. But still, Valtteri's tyres were so much older. He just didn't really have a chance. Did he? Just tried his best.
They allowed them to fight, and going into Brooklands, Hamilton was already comfortably ahead. So it wasn't even a braking zone thing. Bottas would have just been like going, yeah. He was so pumped out of it about getting pole yesterday that it just, it didn't go well. I think someone F1 Geek saying if only Max had won last week, it certainly would have been closer in the championship. Could it just be that Hamilton outdrove him, Diego Carlson? Potentially. Lewis is a lot better on his tyres than Valtteri Bottas, but they definitely split the strategy. And the strategy there, so the majority of the race previous to it, I would say that Bottas outdrove Hamilton in terms of it. He kept ahead. He got ahead of him at the start.
Yep.
He managed the gap. He was managing a kind of comfortable position to him. At one stage, I think Hamilton had dropped back at least 3 or 5 seconds to Valtteri Bottas. So I don't think that would be fair to say Hamilton outdrove him. The strategy definitely favoured Hamilton on this one, but hey, he's your guy going for the championship, and we all know that there's a clear number 1 and number 2 at Mercedes. As much as they publicly might say they can fight for a title together. Joseph O'Shaughnessy, Leclerc has 4 or 5 times as many points as Seb. I mean, Charles to bring up in that front. We'll talk about the Ferraris probably. Leclerc, incredible.
Amazing. That's all we can really say. Just incredible how he managed those tyres, and he was on those tyres by the end were so old, weren't they? They were into the 30 laps or high 20s.
I've got it.
Certainly high 20s.
34
laps he held out those hard tyres. That is incredible. I mean, once he had obviously Hamilton catch him, pass him relatively easily to drop him back down to 4th. He then had something like a 20-second gap back to Albon in 5th. So realistically, he could ease off quite a lot and be able to get a few more laps out of them. But still, wow, fair play to Leclerc being able to get up from, it was P8 starting, wasn't it?
Yeah, P8 to P4. Wow. Charles Leclerc, as much as, and obviously we'll talk about Vettel as well, like I said before, the car isn't as good as what Leclerc's making it look, and it isn't as bad as what Vettel is. And there's something clearly wrong with Vettel. Bit mentality, just not happy with the car. and Leclerc clearly is very happy with the car. But Leclerc is performing magic with the absolutely, yeah. It is nice that Ferrari re-announced their deal with Fiat. That kind of went under the radar, didn't it? That Fiat are now building the car ahead of Ferrari. That is positive, Josh. Thanks for obviously pointing that out.
To be fair, I think a Fiat 500 could probably do it faster than that than the Ferrari at the moment.
But yeah,
sorry, girl in the car.
as much as Charles Leclerc, absolutely incredible drive from him today. I think beating the Racing Points is huge,
amazing
for him.
Yeah,
because the Racing Points pace really did look pretty good because they were comfortable compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Albon did get ahead of them, but he's in the car but won the race, so the Red Bull should be beating them. Yeah, he did well, but Vettel, we're watching the race start. Lights out. It's tight. We're looking at Hamilton, Bottas, Stephen, and
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, Stephen and John are looking and like, oh, look at this. Is he going to go for there? And I was like, oh, there's been a spin. And I was like, it's a Ferrari. Oh, it's too far back to be Leclerc. Spinella. Oh, Seb. When it rains, it pours. I think for Sebastian Vettel is probably quite a good one to go for that. He just needs the season to end.
Yeah, I at the start when Ferrari didn't sign the contract with him or whatever, I was like personally like, oh, okay, that's good. Like, frees up the space. Like, he is a little bit past it in my opinion. But this season, oh my God, I've been feeling so bad for him, especially over the past couple of races. Just has had not only a bad car, the team not 100% supporting him, and then just had unbelievable unluckiness. Well, I mean, partially say unluckiness, but partially he did take a lot of that inside curb to cause the spin before, but then maybe say, could Charles have helped that? I don't know if you want to speculate about that, but yeah, just unlucky from Seb and just getting it twitchy and then all over the place.
He just took too much curb. Again, it's technically a driver error, but hey, he's trying to push everything up from there. Hi, Liam Talks F1. Thanks for joining in the chat. Is F1 Geeks, is Haas and Alfa Romeo qualifying poor performance based on the bad performance of the Ferrari engine? It's definitely some part to it. On top of that, the Alfa Romeo is an awful car. They are the new.
Be around the bush,
well, I could say they're the new Williams, but Kimi Raikkonen has beaten both Haas's and both Williams. So
somehow
that's just the experience of a world champion from there. But yeah, John T. James, I just don't think Seb cares anymore. Probably not. He's probably looking ahead as the Racing Point deal seems there. Abe, I'm a big Seb fan, but when he's spun, I feel there is something wrong with him. Maybe. He's definitely not happy. And I remember, I keep bringing it up in the live streams, but watching the Channel 4 commentary, Mark Webber was saying that Silverstone is a track that if you're not happy with the car or happy in yourself confidence-wise, which clearly Sebastian Vettel isn't at the moment, you get exposed. And over the course of the past 2 weekends, he definitely has got exposed. 1 point last weekend and no points this weekend. And he was definitely on the better strategy as well. So yeah, it could have potentially been a very good race for him.
Leclerc just managed to make it work, didn't he? Oh, I just feel like crying. So
I'm just confirming here, Liam. I'm no longer hate being a Ferrari fan after the amazing strategy, and Mike inside is dead after Albon done brilliant. Look, I was critical of Albon because he deserved to be criticised, but I'm also going to praise him when he's done well. It was a very good performance from Alex Albon today, and that's what you want to see from him going forward. And he needs to keep building on that and, making sure that he's supporting Verstappen, because if that Red Bull develops, if Mercedes have problems at Grand Prix, which, Austria, they had the gearbox issue, that Red Bull didn't fully take advantage of. They had the tyre issues at Silverstone last week. They've had the tyre issues again for this week. With tracks to come, at tracks like Mugello, which we've never been to, Imola, which we haven't been to for ages, Portimao, which we've never been to as well. There are a lot of tracks that if Albon can support Max, I'm being desperately optimistic here, but maybe the championship isn't wrapped up for Mercedes because Max Verstappen is driving on God tier this season. But you never know. If they have two cars that can push those Mercedes, it clearly, although it's incredibly quick, isn't maybe the most reliable car.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That's exactly what Christian Horner wants, isn't it? He wants to have that second car that can be just as competitive as Max is. And as we were asking earlier, is that ever going to happen? Especially when you were less in agreement with me. I was saying that the Red Bull car is specifically set up for Max, and that's what the problems that Pierre had, was he couldn't quite change his driving style well enough to fit that, and Alex is having those problems as well. So the Red Bull system is very cutthroat with the drivers, of if you don't make up speed, you're gone. But do they need to give the drivers a bit more time to be able to get up to those paces, to be able to act as that second driver when Max gets first, for them to be on the podium as well? Or is fifth good enough?
I don't know. I feel like it still needs to, if one's pushing to win, and Alex isn't going to go there, but he just, if he can keep it, qualify better and get in a window that stops Mercedes using Bottas as something from there, that if he can do that, then that I think is enough for them.
Yeah,
he just needs to support Verstappen in some sort of way.
Exactly. He's often too far back to be able to actually help out in any way. As we look at the Mercedes, have a perfect partnership, don't they? Obviously, they do have the best car by quite a way, I would say. They're still able to, Bottas, when Hamilton is there going for the win, Bottas is always there just behind him to pick up the points for second and to do what he needs to do for the team. And Red Bull just need that for the future and haven't quite found it yet.
Absolutely. Hi, Hayley, in chat as well. Thank you for joining in.
Hayley.
Hope you're recovering after last night, although you don't tend to get hangovers, so you're fine in terms of that. I've always been a Racing Point supporter, although I always thought Stroll was not good enough to be an F1. I have to say he's doing a very consistent job. Stroll's done all right today. I think credit where credit's due. He had a fantastic start after it was a little bit... I saw Aldas tweeted that it was borderline embarrassing to get a reserve driver in and be out-qualified with it, which...
I mean, it is, yeah. It is.
It's not beating around the bush, but it's fair. But, he's qualified there. He was behind Hulkenberg for the entire race, and Racing Point have pitted Hulkenberg for a soft two, and that didn't pay off. They took the risky...
Was it just because the tyres were too old? Was that just?
I don't know whether
look back at how many laps he'd done into those hard tyres. Because if Leclerc got to 34 laps, he definitely wasn't that far on.
Yeah, so Stroll did 21 laps on his hards. So I don't know how long that Hulkenberg did there, but he was on for 8 laps on his soft tyres at the end.
That's like pretty much max on those anyway, isn't it? But where was he before the pit stop? Was he 5th? They dropped to 7th for the pits.
Yes.
I think that sounds about right. So lost him quite a few points from that. If the hard tyres couldn't make it, then you've got to say that's fair enough. It's just
he probably would have
probably
would have been overtaken by Albon, but it saved Stroll's face, I think, a little bit in this aspect, because I think if Hulkenberg had beaten him in the race, then more questions would have been asked why Stroll, where now that pit stop alleviates the pressure a little bit.
Do you think they might have done on purpose then? Maybe pitted Hulkenberg just to put him behind Stroll still better than Hulkenberg.
Hey, Lawrence was fighting before, and he's like, I will not have my son embarrassed like this. You will not do this to him.
He was wearing his mask that covers like that much of his face, like full-size mask, and his entire chin was hanging out the bottom of it.
Crazy big. We try and keep up for and go, let's be a little bit honest with ourselves, shall we?
There's 18 people watching now and only 9 likes. Come on, boys. Drop a little like down below if you're enjoying the stream. Come on. Give Mike some lovely likes. He's a lovely chap.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Appreciate for that promoting within. Josh was going on the conspiracy theory of Racing Point pitting Hulk for that thing.
He actually told it to me telepathically. That's why I brought it up with you just then.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Josh on a spiritual
level. You're on a spiritual level connected. John T. James, I said on Twitter that Bottas just stood on his own on the podium almost. Fed up with the whole situation. Absolutely. He feels he's gutted from there. Oh, also, hi, Sam O'Gara. Thanks for jumping in the trap there. Lance Stroll, actually, again, thank you so much for coming in post-race. Really do appreciate you jumping in the chat. I know that coming into F1 Fanatics live stream is how you complete your race weekend. But Aldas, you mean that Gordon Ramsay kid? Oh, look at that!
I told you it works.
They've flown
Thank
up.
you, boys. I appreciate that. Dropping the likes down below. I told you it works. It works. Thank you, guys. But yeah, Lance Stroll jumping in here. Thank you, mate. You had a great race today. And if your dad would like to sponsor both of our channels,
You got money to spare.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You bought Premier and then
Happy.
sold it for a loss, I think, after that. And as Josh will affectionately say, that he bought a motorhome and just abandoned it in New Zealand because it cost too much to get it back to Europe. Hulkenberg had vibrations, you muppet. Lance Stroll. Oh, fighting talk in the chat from there. Viandra with Motorsport Fanboy. Hello, thanks for joining in the chat from there. What the hell happened to Ocon and Ricciardo as well? They were up there last week. Well, Ricciardo obviously had the spin we spoke about from there. I don't know. He wasn't actually looking too good tyre-wise.
He wasn't looking nearly as strong as he did last weekend.
No, the Renaults definitely struggled. Certainly their qualifying pace didn't, well, in Ricciardo, relate to race pace, but you certainly would have expected him. Well, where did Hulkenberg finish in the end? Was it P7? I would have expected Ricciardo to get P8, but yeah, still not great in terms of that front.
Yeah, it would have been a nice little double points finish for Renault though. So only one for them, sadly. What did you just see together?
Lance Stroll, great content, but I'm tired of this rebel clown. I thought you paid him off already. Brilliant chat from Lance in there. What the hell? So from there, Abe Panzer, if Ferrari have made non-stop work for Charles, then why not for Seb, especially when he pitted later in the first stint? Well, Seb actually was moaning about the strategy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he moaned where they put him out. And he did actually able to overtake Carlos Sainz, although he thought that he wouldn't be able to. But yeah, it was... Seb wasn't a happy man out there. Someone said, actually, did you hear Seb on radio? So I didn't. Whoever said that, if you can reiterate what you mean on that, and we can obviously discuss that. Outside of that, there wasn't really, I'm trying to kind of look back and see any shocks. Kvyat, I suppose we got to give a mention to, 16th to 10th driver of the day.
For some people.
But it was a positive performance for him. That is good. You know, Gasly and him have been there, but Gasly just struggled massively on tyres today, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, at least Kvyat didn't bin it at maggots this time. So good result for him, I mean. But yeah, Gasly having a decent little battle with Albon at one point, which was nice to see. But Albon finally getting it done on him and attempting to prove that he's the better of the two. But I guess that's a bit down to opinion, isn't it? And where was that another move around the outside?
I think it was.
I think it was. Albon's loving those.
He just loved it. He was like, I'm going to send it outside of Stowe, outside of Cops. I'm Alex Albon. I do what I want. But it's when his overtaking. See, that is the overtaking that I want to see from Alex Albon, because he proves that he can do it, and he learned from last week that he can't just go through the last corner in a gap that's always closing, when clearly he can overtake at other points in the race, which I think obviously made last week even more frustration on reflection for Alex Albon, because he could have had two very good weekends from there. Kids Love F1, great YouTube channel, obviously, from there. So big shout out to Kids Love F1. Check him out if you haven't done already. Proof that one-stop races are bad for everyone. Revert to the softer tyres or make 2 stops minimum.
Yeah.
It certainly adds a good strategy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and then it makes the compound choice getting into Q2 for the other guys very interesting, actually.
100%. Yeah, it actually makes the choice interesting at the end. Otherwise, they just do the same thing, really, don't they? Unless one of them, like Verstappen, tries to do some crazy thing of going on proper hard tyres or proper soft tyres to try and beat the Mercedes. And I mean, it worked today, didn't it? So good to see that. Yeah,
I think it's something Ash has always spoken about. He thinks, you know, it should be minimum to use all 3 compounds within the race. But yeah, you know, just adding in that extra pit stop, someone to kind of, something extra can go wrong. Obviously, it looked like Verstappen's pit stop onto the mediums had hindered him and put him behind Bottas, and it held him behind Bottas for the whole point of 4 corners, was it? I think it was. Yeah. It was crazy on that front. But yeah, 2 stops. It was a brilliant race in terms of strategy. That was much better. And but yeah, maybe you could say that all the overtaking pretty much then happened in the pit stops probably in terms of overcuts and undercuts.
Yeah, with the Bottas and Verstappen situation, we were all like, "Oh my god, he's going to jump him! He's going to jump him!" And then they made a mistake in the pit, and we were like, "Oh no, now he's going to come up behind." Comes up behind, we're like, "Oh, could be a good battle here." Literally, like 3 points later, he was past, like easily past. We're like, "Oh."
And that
Well,
shows
how's that gone?
that showed how kind of much Mercedes struggled today. Definitely,
Yeah, especially on the older tyres as well. I love how we shouted out Kids Love F1 channel as well, but not Josh. Josh doesn't need it. Josh can piss off, honestly.
He's on the verge of 100k. Honestly, he should be shouting us out in chat. No, he does.
Agreed.
F1 community Twitter run by Josh is fantastic actually on that front.
Big
So
up,
he does massive for the F1 community. Yeah, we've shots fired at Josh there. Albon's overtake on Raikkonen was great. That was the one outside Cops, wasn't it? It was really tight between Raikkonen and what was it? Brundle or Crofty said, yeah, and Raikkonen did allow him room there, and we were like, did he?
yeah, we both did. Yeah, he was literally like on the edge of the track with his tyre on the edge of the curb, and then Brundle goes, "Oh, you left him enough room." He was like, "What?" He pushed him off the track. What are you on about, mate? You've seen a different thing to what we're seeing. Yeah, I mean, a robust move, but even pushing him out, he still couldn't keep him behind. So, fair play.
Yeah, it was crazy on that. My throat had a spasm as I was commentating on the race. Why not me? Okay, Liam. Maybe we've seen that a little bit out of context in terms of that comment, but I hope your throat's okay. Just to clear up on that one. Ricky Red, finally Mercedes didn't win. Verstappen made a mega race.
Ricky Red's my boy. Sorry,
he's your boy. No problem at all. Yeah, finally. Well, we'll answer this question. Yeah, finally Max is unsettled. I thought Mercedes were just going to get 100% this season. But clearly they are not invincible. So that's going to pee him off because I think they were probably going for that record this year.
They're going for every record seemingly this year, aren't they? Especially Hamilton. Jesus Christ. They came up saying that he matched Schumacher's podium record today. Yeah. So, yeah, easily going to get that by the end of the season. And he's going for the wins this season, isn't he, as well? And then going to match the titles this season as well. We've got a legend, a true legend out there.
Mate, it is incredible to watch what Hamilton does, and it's incredible how he did make those tyres, because those tyres that he lasted on for ages.
Yeah, the first set, wasn't it?
No, the second set. The second set were horrendous. Like the lines around the middle of the rear tyres were handed. Sam O'Gara. Oh, gee, all right, Sam, calm down. We'll get a little bit extra for you.
Very good social distancing now. Camera removed. There's no. I swear, there's no more social distancing in the UK anymore.
It's definitely.
I'm pretty sure we're good
in terms of that. But we looked it up to kind of check things before whether we could.
And we were fine.
We are fine. Anyway, Barcelona could struggle with the hot temps. I think so. Definitely. Yeah, we just got Tara in the background. That's why John got distracted by it. Just with Brian, he's kind of going, cats.
Yeah, I love cats, me. Who was? I think it was Brundle saying at the end that it's going to be like very similar weather at Catalunya next week. So again, going to be hopefully a similar, very strategic-based race. So hopefully another interesting one that we just had.
Yeah, absolutely. Would be even if it's the harder compounds which we had at first week. I don't know.
What's with all the dislikes that subscribe to PewDiePie? We don't know. We can only see the likes.
Yeah, we're in a positive little bubble here.
We'll keep smiling. We'll ignore them. They're unnecessary.
We're on 15 likes. We'll take that.
And there's 19 people watching right now. If you haven't liked this stream already, 20 people. If you haven't liked this already, drop a little like down below. Not a dislike though. If you dropped a dislike, change that to a like.
Yeah,
definitely.
Turn it upside down.
Definitely
go on that
upside down. There you go. We got a couple of likes. Trick in. Thanks for that, boys.
Yeah, mate, you are killing it on the thumbs up front. Anshit is awesome. Spain another tyre killer. Absolutely. I think we should hopefully. This was actually one of the real positives about Catalunya being in the middle of the summer. Is that temperatures at Spain were always going to be very hot compared to obviously the cooler temperatures that we get more similar to testing temps.
Yeah.
In April.
When it occasionally snows. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more interesting now with the hot temperatures.
No, fingers crossed, obviously, that it pays off. And that Those are them dislike bots for dissing me. I'm intrigued by this. I'm going to get it up in terms of just to see where's our disastrous gone from
You
here.
can't watch us. This is what you got an ad on it. He's got an ad on the stream. Big boy baller over here.
Hashtag monetize MotoMeerkat.
Damn.
That's what we say. Six dislikes.
6 dislikes.
I get no dislikes, so it's clearly
It's
you.
clearly-
You're the
it's
only
obviously
thing
me.
doing it.
I always get some dislikes. so I
Don't worry,
think
we'll get rid of MotoMeerkat.
I'm a very
next week,
polarizing.
guys.
Bro,
Don't
we're up
worry.
to 21 likes. It doesn't
Nice.
matter.
It's impressive.
fine.
We'll go on through it there.
Am I
But
allowed to swear on the stream?
can't wait for a snooze fest in
Well,
Catalonia. Motorsport
Good awesome.
fan. I'm shutting you down. I was just looking at.
All right.
We
Well,
just.
no, you carry on.
But
No,
we were
no.
just bigging
no.
up. We were bigging
Carry on.
up Catalonia.
Oh no, I saw that already.
I
ignored him.
unbelievable.
Ignored him.
Unbelievable.
Catalonia's gonna be great,
How
mate.
rare.
Believe it. If you put it out there into the world, it'll happen.
LR, I feel your pain. Magnussen absolutely destroyed my fantasy. He did. Absolutely. What was he playing at out
I
there?
don't even know what my team is.
You see, what it goes is Kevin Magnussen, he qualifies poorly, and then in the race, he finishes better. He had a trademark Magnussen great
Yeah,
start,
great. It was 4 places.
and,
that, I think?
and then it just dropped. It was there. Spain will be 200 degrees at this time of year. I don't think maybe that much, Sam, but we'll go. So
We're here for the F1 sun race. They're just in lava. Oh no, my tyres are melted.
Sam O'Gara, the only guy who can match F1 Dan from F1E reviews as Grosjean fanboy, going Grosjean beat Magnussen again. GOAT. Obviously, Roman Grosjean is the GOAT of all time.
The goat of being shit.
Unbelievable in terms of that. But yeah, crazy. I think we really have we covered it all within the race. I don't really.
I mean,
mate, you're killing it.
my fantasy team was incredible. Albon, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Norris, Stroll. They're all top 10, are they, except one? Sainz?
Yeah.
Come on.
No Mercedes though, so
Oh, I've got Mercedes as the team.
it's decent.
So
It's decent. It's
there you go.
still go from there.
Come on, boys.
You're not very good at fantasy, are you? No offense.
Just Craig has done you dirty there, mate.
I
Craig
feel
has done
hurt.
you dirty.
Craig, I've been done hurt here. I mean,
Done
no
that.
offense. I'm offended. Yeah, it hasn't gone well this year. There have gone risks. After no save gate last week, it's collapsed from there. Unbelievable. I had Hulkenberg in my team and he was turbo. So I got minus 26 from him not starting last week.
That's frustrating.
That is.
Oh, I had him in last week as well. I would have done because I had Perez in. So
Haas believes Magnussen's chassis is damaged from last race due to the crash. Okay. Albon crash. Yeah, potentially.
but wasn't it because he got damaged from the Latifi incident when he came off
That's
the track?
what I thought, because there was definitely something that flew off.
Yeah.
It'd go from there.
I mean, it wasn't massive. It wasn't like complete disintegration.
In
of
fairness,
car.
his pace was pretty awful
post that.
before that, anyway.
Even before that.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's what happens, isn't it, with the Haas?
potentially.
The Haas is qualifies bad, great start, drops back.
Yeah,
That's just every Haas race.
that absolutely is. Goes from there. David Xavier, Mercedes could struggle next round. They could. I think everyone else is hoping for Mercedes to have another poor race on tyres fronts and the difficult because, hopefully it makes it kind of exciting on that front. But yeah, no idea. No idea what we're going to get next week. But hopefully, it's another triple header, another race week next week.
Hell yeah.
It's brilliant.
Even if the race is
December.
crap, just have 3 in a row. It's brilliant.
It's just nice. It's nice for it to
Good
keep
to
going.
Let's have something to look forward to in this dark times.
Yeah, I suppose it's still dark times.
It still is. If I have to wear a mask to go into Sainsbury's, it's still dark times.
That's very true in terms of that. Which car on the grid is the best on tyre management? I would have traditionally said Mercedes, but
Yeah.
Mercedes' past 2 weeks have been awful, so they clearly can't in the higher temperatures. Maybe the Red Bull. It clearly looks great, and it's something that I think is go from that. Infinite TK, they won't struggle. They'll fix the issues. Those Mercedes analysts are insane. Potentially, I would say usually, but there's a week and they don't have any data, and they didn't fix the data this week. So potentially,
well, I mean, you could have said they got better because they didn't have any blowouts. So they definitely need to get a little bit better being able to manage the tyres. But yeah, can they get better enough for, as you said, next week to do any significant difference?
Yeah, I think it's still going to be an issue for Mercedes next week, and fingers crossed, obviously, for the championship and for races at the front. Obviously, Max Verstappen is pushing things. Hopefully, it will be from that gun. Craig Taggart, have they announced any more races yet or not? Not to my knowledge. I believe we're up to it was Imola, Portimao, and Nürburgring, wasn't it?
John D. James said Sainsbury's. Oh, someone has the mega box on YouTube.
I'm not sure Sainsbury's is that upper class, is it? If
I
it was
don't
like,
think so.
if it was like Marks and Spencers or Waitrose, then I'd be like all in.
Upper class, and also I do work there. In case you don't know, so I have to go in at some point. I don't, because I'm temporary staff. I don't even get the discount. That is robbery, isn't it? I don't even get a discount. That's full price.
That's daylight robbery.
I work the night shift, so it's actually nighttime robbery.
That's like Racing Point and Williams not getting as good an engine from Mercedes as the main team, isn't it?
Exactly. I think I'm going to appeal.
I think so. Let's put in a steward's appeal for MotoMeerkat's discount at Sainsbury's. Justice will be served, but yeah, I don't think there have been any races announced, Craig. So I think that's all we're up to date on that front.
Ricky Red, Hulkenberg.
Yes,
he's going to race in 2021.
I think so. I think his qualifying performance is enough. I could see him being in the Haas seat for next year because I think Grosjean will go.
Yeah, I had a little Instagram live stream yesterday where I had a little chat about this, and I went through all the seats that were available, and I came to the conclusion that it's probably going to be Alfa Romeo or Haas. Realistically, I'm thinking Haas, a full change up, because they've had now years of going, well, like Grosjean and Magnussen are used to these cars. They're used to working together. That's going to be the best for us to move forward, and it just hasn't worked, has it? It just hasn't worked. So I think they're going to need to do just a full revamp, 2 new drivers in, Hulkenberg one of them, and then maybe a Ferrari Junior, Callum Ilott, Schumacher.
Potentially. Callum Ilott has been brilliant, I think, in F2. He really has stand out. I know Sam mentioned earlier, if you hadn't already, go and watch the last lap of the F3 race earlier today between Bent Viscal and Liverens in Delhi. That was proper racing in terms of matching each other. That was really, really good stuff. Very impressive on that front. Alpha seat will be Kvyat, in opinion. That is definitely an interesting one from there. And John T throws in a curveball. Do you think Haas will stick around for another season?
That's what I was going to say, yeah. The team was either they'll do a full change out of the drivers or they'll just piss off, basically. After, I don't think they'll end after this year. I think maybe before the rule change for 22.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably have to see. I think they'll probably have to give 2022 a go, won't they? Because it could be such a mix-up.
But it's going to be so. I know they've obviously got the budget cap and everything, but there is so much money. Like, they're completely new cars.
But they would have had to have been investing in it now, surely.
Yeah, but are they? It's a question. If they're planning on leaving,
yeah,
are they already investing in it?
Gene Haas didn't obviously fill everyone with confidence from there, but
no.
Gunter seemed very positive. So if Gunter's positive,
I think
that's
they will.
positive.
I think they will carry on, and I hope that if they do, they have a bit more luck in the new era, because I do feel bad for Mr. Gunter Spider.
Yeah.
Don't smash my door.
yeah, justice for Gunter's door, certainly on that front. But yeah, I think we've pretty much rounded up race reaction wise. I think we've got everything. Incredible that Mercedes haven't won. That was brilliant. It was nice to see a different race winner, and it was nice to kind of see Mercedes sweating under the collar, not just because it's baking in the UK.
Yeah.
Go from there. But yeah, it was a great one on that. So unless any of you guys have any questions in the chat, me and John will round up the stream, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. because he'll be here ready for a driver ratings video as well, where obviously you'll get mine and Stephen's rating as well as the Meerkat rating as well from that.
Carola, just missed it. Carola, I feel
Carola, I'm sorry, but you can watch it obviously on highlights and go through the stream in terms of that from playback. But yes, good day for number 33, definitely on that front. And I think Ricky Red, your guy from there, How would be your reaction if Red Bull joined Formula E? Is that an inside joke?
Red Bull joins Formula E. Oh no! Oh, I was laughing at Gene spends hundreds fucking millions of his own fucking money from Liam Talks F1. Sorry, no. How would your reaction? How be your reaction if Red Bull joins Formula E? Is that a real possibility?
I don't think
I haven't seen anything to do with that, but maybe. I mean, everyone was saying like 2 years ago when Formula E was just getting going that all the teams in Formula 1 were going to get up and leave because it was so much cheaper and so much better to be in Formula E. And I think we've squashed that now. I think people have sort of
for manufacturers probably, but Red Bull not being a manufacturer, what is the real?
Exactly, there's no point.
They might as well be in the pinnacle one.
Yeah,
for now. But yeah. No, absolutely. I think that, guys, pretty much rounds it up. So thank you so much for everyone in chat. We really appreciate, obviously, the whole interaction and debate. It was a great race. Thanks for another great live stream. Hope you enjoyed the kind of team up collab with me and John. It was great to have him on in this one. Thanks for coming, mate.
Buddy. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you, everyone, for being so nice to me in the stream. I love being here. And subscribe to the F1 Fanatic channel if you haven't already. And like the stream as well.
And subscribe to MotoMeerkat if you haven't done already. Make sure you kind of jump onto that. Richard Tickton did that. We're not getting into that debate with Bill Buxton in terms of that. Absolute carnage, certainly, on that front. But, guys, we will see you tomorrow for the driver ratings. And, obviously, for live streams this week, we have our Motorsport Manager one on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. From there, then obviously the F1 Weekly News Show on Friday around lunchtime will be the live stream. And as always, the quali and race live streams next week as well. But guys, hope you've enjoyed it. That's it from me and MotoMeerkat. Yeah. So for now, you F1 fans, keep racing.
Bye.
See you later, guys.
Bye, everyone.